Welcome to Deep Sleep Stories. My name is Matt. I know this podcast is quite new, but some of you have been following along for a while now. As you may have noticed, the narrator has changed a couple of times already in just a few months. The truth is, the podcast has been growing extremely slow, and basically nobody has left us any reviews so far. I'm here as the new voice of the podcast and would love to stick around, but I need your support to do so. Please, if you enjoy our content, it would mean so much to us if you could just leave us a review on whichever podcast platform you use. Now, take a deep breath and let's begin tonight's story.
Hello and welcome to Deep Sleep Stories. You've arrived at a place where quiet dreams unfold gently, a space devoted to soothing your mind and spirit. Here you can let the cares of the day drift into the background like small paper boats carried away on a gentle stream. Tonight you will be guided into a world of lantern lights and distant music, a scene of Oktoberfest festivities softly buzzing in the distance. But before we begin, take a moment to settle in. Allow your shoulders to drop and your breathing to become gentle and steady. Sense the comfort of the surface beneath you, supporting you completely. Envision a warm, tranquil glow surrounding you, a reminder that you are safe. You are held in this sacred space of rest. Now just breathe. Inhale the promise of calm. Exhale the remains of tension. Feel the soothing wave of relaxation roll through your chest, down through your arms, your fingertips, and settle all the way at your toes. Let any final bits of worry melt away. There is nothing you need to do but breathe and listen, letting the words drift over you like a lullaby. Soon we'll step into a soft, festive world set under early autumn skies. Lanterns will glow in amber lines, and the distant echoes of gentle celebration will float on the wind. For now, though, all you have to do is listen to the sound of your own breath, softly in and softly out. Imagine the faint hush of twilight. The air itself feels mellow, touched by the last rays of sunset. There's a comforting crispness, as though the night is gently encouraging you to wrap yourself in something warm. Let this image fill your senses. Breathe deeply. This is your invitation to unwind and prepare for a restful journey. Close your eyes if you like, or let them rest gently on some quiet spot in the room. Gradually, you're surrendering all stress, placing it aside so that the story can usher in a sense of deep tranquility. Let the soft hush of night hold you. Let the lull of calm embrace you. A quiet hush descends, and the narrative unfolds, now in the third person, gently cradling you in a comforting tale. A traveler named Elise has just arrived in a charming old town, the golden glow of street lanterns guiding her steps. She wears a light shawl draped around her shoulders, pulled snug against a cool evening breeze. The air has that unmistakable autumn scent, earthy leaves and the promise of a new season. In the distance, she hears it, the quiet hum of gentle celebration that marks the time of year, a signal that festivities await. The sounds are subdued by the hush of twilight, softened into a lullaby of distant music. It calls to mind the gentle swirl of a carousel or the hum of a far-off merry-go-round. Slowly, step by step, Elise makes her way through the cobblestone lanes, curious about the warm swirl of life somewhere close by. There is an air of excitement in the town, yet it's wrapped in a welcoming hush. At the center of the village, lanterns sway from tall poles, their light dancing in patterned circles along the ground. Each lantern is like a small moon, softly illuminating the scene with a gentle golden light. Elise notices how the glow reflects off the old, beautifully carved wooden beams of the nearby buildings, their windows filled with flower boxes. The faint strains of a traditional folk tune weave through the evening air. She can't quite make out the lyrics. It's only the comforting rise and fall of distant voices, mingled with the mild notes of a concertina. It's enough to feel a cozy sense of belonging, even though she is new here. Something about this place soothes her heart. As Elise approaches the broad town square, she passes a small bakery that is nearly closed for the day. Faint traces of freshly baked bread still linger in the air. In the window, she spies an autumn display of woven baskets filled with seasonal gourds and ornamental pumpkins. The flickering light from the lanterns outside casts dancing shadows across the store's interior, creating an almost magical interplay of brightness and shade. The effect is both calming and enchanting, setting her mind at ease. Even the old wooden door, with its delicate brass handle, seems to invite her to linger. The night seems to whisper that there's no need to hurry. Time is slower here, carefully measured by the gentle flicker of each lantern's flame. Elise's path leads her to a row of wooden stalls and wagons decorated with festive ribbons. Each stall is closed for the moment, but the presence of colorful fabric and handcrafted signs indicates that earlier in the day they were bustling with life. The ribbons dance in the evening breeze, their soft rustling merging seamlessly with the faint, comforting music. She wonders what it might be like at the height of the festivities, with the cheerful chatter of visitors, the clink of glassware, and the swirl of folk attire. Perhaps tomorrow, she thinks, she'll see it all in bright daylight. For now, she's content simply to observe this peaceful twilight hour where all is hushed and waiting. The stillness is both restful and quietly celebratory. As she moves deeper into the heart of the square, Elise finally sees it, a modest, open-air hall with strings of glowing lanterns placed overhead. They crisscross above rows of wooden tables, each seat carefully lined with checkered cloth. Beyond, she spots a stage where a small band must have played earlier. Now, all that remains is a gentle recorded tune emanating from nearby speakers, just a soothing background melody to keep the spirit of the festival alive even as night settles in. The music is low enough to lull the mind into serenity, reminiscent of a lullaby carrying one off to a world of gentle dreams. Elise decides to take a seat at one of the tables. The wooden bench is surprisingly comfortable, smoothed by many years of visitors passing through. She takes a moment to exhale, releasing the day's lingering stress. The night air carries the faint scent of roasted nuts and mulled cider, reminding her of cozy gatherings. She imagines the conversations that might have happened here just a short time ago. Warm laughter, the sharing of stories, and the soft clinking of mugs. Though the crowd has dispersed, the pleasant, joyful atmosphere lingers like an afterglow. It makes her feel welcome, as if the town itself has wrapped her in a friendly embrace. A gentle breeze stirs the lanterns overhead, causing them to sway. Their glow shifts across the old wooden planks of the table. Elise notices how the candle-like bulbs flicker inside the small glass enclosures, creating patterns that ripple like tiny waves on a golden pond. The shadows gently dance across the surface of her shawl, making it feel as though even the light is alive with festivity. In that moment, she feels deeply connected to the environment. There is no rush, no worry. She closes her eyes for a moment, letting the far-off sounds guide her into a state of calm contemplation. The hush of the festival grounds has its own cozy harmony. Eventually, Elise rises and begins to wander again, following a narrow street that meanders toward a small footbridge on the far side of town. A soft glow, possibly from more lanterns, seems to beckon her forward. As she nears the bridge, she finds it adorned with tiny lights that shimmer across the water below. The creek's gentle flow adds a soothing background note to the night, a slight trickle and murmur that feels endlessly calming. She rests an elbow on the old stone railing, looking down at her mirrored reflection. The lantern light glides across the water's surface, painting it with warm strokes of orange and gold. The reflection of the moon above lingers too, a silver orb perfectly poised to oversee the quiet celebration. Memories wash over her of simpler days and small joys. She thinks about how often the sweetest moments in life slip by unnoticed, like the quiet ripple of water beneath a bridge. Here, in this tranquil setting, time seems to expand. The day's routine concerns drift further away, replaced by the immediate comfort of night, hush, and golden light. She breathes deeply, inhaling the crisp autumn air. In this peaceful moment, she can almost taste the season, a mixture of falling leaves, harvest fruits, and the faint promise of spices that might be simmering somewhere nearby. From the bridge, Elise continues toward a small lantern-lit garden on the outskirts of the main square. A handful of festively dressed figures are winding down their evening with soft conversation, their voices scarcely more than a murmur. Their presence feels welcoming, not intrusive. One of them catches Elise's eye and offers a gentle smile, a silent greeting that says, "You belong here too," in this quiet, comforting sphere of autumn celebration. She nods in return, then finds a corner of the garden to explore on her own. It has a winding path lined with smooth stones and delicate flower beds now dotted with autumn blooms in shades of rust and burgundy. The gentle music still echoes in the background, distant enough to feel like a lullaby, close enough to remind her that the night still holds a gentle, festive spirit. In the center of the garden stands a centuries-old oak tree, its branches draped with ribbons and tiny lights. The ribbons are in warm harvest colors, amber, gold, deep red, and they flutter lightly in the breeze. Some of them are inscribed with wishes or prayers, written on small pieces of paper carefully attached to the ribbons. Elise steps closer, fascinated. She reads a few of the messages, which speak of hopes for good health, for family well-being, for new beginnings. The simplicity and sincerity of these tiny notes resonate with her. She feels an overwhelming sense of peace, as if this ancient tree is a guardian of gentle dreams, watching over the townspeople and visitors alike. An older gentleman, perhaps the caretaker, quietly tends to the ribbons, rearranging them so they catch the lantern light more effectively. He glances at Elise and nods, his kind eyes twinkling as though he senses her awe. Elise smiles back, grateful for the unspoken understanding. Here, under the protective canopy of the oak, with glowing ribbons overhead, time feels suspended. The breeze that rustles the leaves carries a certain softness, as though even the wind is mindful not to disturb the stillness. The comforting hush of night wraps around the garden like a warm blanket. After a few moments, Elise begins a slow stroll back toward the heart of the festival. The path leads her along a row of charming wooden facades. Each building is painted in muted tones, reminiscent of old-world architecture, where window boxes still hold the last blossoms of summer. In the gentle lantern glow, the colors soften into dreamy pastels. The air is quiet, punctuated only by occasional footsteps, as another evening wanderer passes by, heading somewhere equally peaceful. She notices that each passerby moves with unhurried grace, as if everyone has collectively decided to walk in slow motion, savoring each second of this hushed, enchanted evening. A light drizzle begins, more of a soft mist than real rain. The droplets catch the glow of the lanterns, turning each patch of light into a shimmering curtain of silver. The sound of raindrops on distant awnings provides another gentle layer to the soundscape. Elise opens her shawl slightly and tilts her face upward, letting the cool droplets brush her cheeks. It's pleasant, refreshing. The mild hush of the drizzle blends with the subdued festival melody still drifting through the streets. She can feel her entire body unwinding further, lulled by the tender symphony of nature and gentle festivity. She takes shelter under the canopy of a small cafe, which is closed for the evening but still has its sign lit, revealing cursive letters that speak of coffee, pastries, and local treats. Although the space is empty, the menu board stands as a warm reminder of what the morning might bring. For now, the cafe remains a quiet alcove from the light rain, its wooden benches offering a dry place to sit. Elise takes a seat, letting her fingertips rest on the smooth surface of the old, polished table. It's comforting to consider that tomorrow, the morning sun will see these tables full of life. Friends chatting, pastries fresh from the oven, and steaming cups of coffee. Yet she also treasures the silence of this moment, where only the hush of raindrops and the faint hum of distant Oktoberfest tunes keep her company. When the drizzle subsides, Elise continues her journey, drawn by a subtle fragrance she cannot quite identify. It's sweet and toasty, perhaps roasted chestnuts or something akin to sugary almonds. The aroma is faint yet inviting, guiding her like a friendly beckoning hand. She rounds a corner and finds a small cart still open, offering warm treats for those night owls who linger in the evening's gentle glow. The vendor, a middle-aged woman with a kind smile, greets her softly. Elise decides to indulge in a small pouch of roasted nuts, their warmth immediately noticeable against her palms. She thanks the vendor and resumes her walk, nibbling on the sweet morsels, allowing the flavor and warmth to envelop her senses. With each step, Elise feels closer to the gentle heartbeat of this place. The distant Oktoberfest music remains a comforting echo, never jarring, never loud, just enough to remind her of the world's festivities, continuing in tandem with her quiet wanderings. She imagines how, earlier in the day, the lively tunes might have swept people into dance, the swirl of colorful outfits and bright laughter filling the air. Now, in the soft embrace of nighttime, that same melody has become a lullaby for the sleepy town. It wraps itself around everything: lanterns, cobblestones, the hush of the creek, and imbues each element with a subtle sense of warmth. Returning to the main square, Elise observes that while the tables in the open-air hall remain in place, they are mostly empty now. A few couples linger, finishing whispered conversations as they nurse their last sips of cider or mulled wine. The swirl of steam from their cups rises gently into the air before dissipating into the darkness. She smiles at the scene, noticing how a feeling of camaraderie exists here, unspoken yet palpable. No one is in a rush to depart. They savor the hush, letting the final notes of music and the serene glow of lanterns sink into memory. She walks toward a small side street that leads to an old chapel. According to the town's lore, the chapel has stood there for centuries, quietly witnessing the changing seasons and the ebb and flow of village life. As she reaches the entrance, she notices it's open, offering a silent invitation. The soft lighting inside is comforting, with candles flickering along the walls. She steps in, feeling a gentle stillness that soothes the spirit. Here, the festive air of Oktoberfest intermingles with a sense of timeless serenity. The music outside fades to a distant murmur, replaced by the subtle flicker of candle flame. The chapel's wooden pews speak of generations of townsfolk who have found moments of peace within these walls. Elise sits in one of the pews, letting her breathing soften. The hush is so complete that she can almost hear her own heartbeat. She thinks about the simple joys that have filled her evening. Lanterns lighting a sleepy festival, a moonlit bridge, the soft hush of a drizzle against rooftops, and the gentle taste of roasted nuts. These small details woven together form a tapestry of comfort. She closes her eyes briefly, basking in the moment. The quiet reverence of this chapel merges with the faint, far-off tune outside, creating a lullaby for her soul. After some time, she stands and exits the chapel. The night has deepened, and the festival's bustle has mostly faded into complete stillness. She notices a new hush in the air, one that seems to cradle the entire town. The lanterns still glow, though their light now seems even softer, as though they are winding down toward rest along with everyone else. The wooden stalls and wagons stand in gentle silence, their colorful ribbons now barely stirring. Even the pumpkins and gourds in the display window look content in the quiet. The moment feels suspended in time, an exquisite stillness between the passing of one day and the promise of dawn. Elise finds a small bench near a cluster of lanterns. She takes a seat, letting her gaze wander across the nearly empty square. A lone festival worker begins to gather stray cups and napkins left behind. There is a simple, meditative rhythm in his actions. He doesn't seem rushed or weary, simply present in the task, allowing the night to guide him gently. Elise feels a wave of gratitude for this moment. It is so rare to experience a festival setting in such a calm manner, to witness the subtle shift from celebration to peaceful slumber. She leans back, resting her head against the bench's wooden slats, feeling the day's last bits of tension melt away from her neck and shoulders. The quiet autumn breeze caresses her face, carrying with it the soft memory of music. She notices the soft glow of the lantern light on her hands, how it outlines her fingers in a tender golden hue. Everything about this scene, from the flickering lanterns to the gentle hum of nighttime crickets, seems designed to encourage rest. She lets her eyes close for a few moments, drifting in that space between wakefulness and dream, lulled by the hush. Gradually, she becomes aware that she could remain here forever, tucked into the cozy atmosphere of distant music and lantern glow. But she also senses the invitation of deeper rest, the beckoning call of a quiet room where she can truly let go. Rising from the bench, she quietly makes her way along the dimly lit street that leads to her temporary lodging, a small, welcoming inn on the edge of town. Lanterns guide her path, creating an unbroken line of golden light that seems to wave softly with each step. The inn, a half-timbered building with a warm glow in its windows, stands as a beacon of comfort in the darkness. A gentle swirl of steam escapes from a vent, indicating that perhaps a kettle is still on inside. She approaches the door, noticing the wreath of dried flowers that hangs there, marigolds, lavender, and sprigs of wheat, tied together with a ribbon that bears the colors of autumn. She opens the door, stepping into a quiet, warmly lit foyer. The hostess, a pleasant woman in a simple apron, greets Elise with a soft nod, sensing her fatigue and offering a discreet wave toward the staircase. Everything is hushed Respectful of the late hour, Elise climbs the wooden stairs, each step creaking just a little, as though the building itself acknowledges her return for the night. When she reaches her room, she's greeted by a cozy space. Simple wooden furniture, soft linens and warm colors, and a window that overlooks part of the lantern-lit street. She places her shawl over a chair and peeks outside. The view is like a living painting, lanterns reflecting on the wet cobblestones, a gentle glow illuminating the half-timbered walls of the surrounding buildings. The distant echo of festivities is almost entirely gone now, replaced by a stillness that settles in the marrow of the night. She closes the window gently, then lights a small bedside lamp, a subdued glow that casts gentle shadows across the walls. She can still imagine the festival's warmth in the quiet hush of her thoughts. The memory of distant music clings to the edges of her consciousness, comforting her like a lullaby. As she sits on the edge of the bed, she unties her shoes slowly and sets them aside. Each action feels deliberate, an unwinding from the day's subtle demands. She loosens her hair, running her fingers through it with a sense of gratitude for the restful moments she's collected this evening. Outside, the soft patter of a renewed drizzle begins, each raindrop a tender tap on the old windowsill. She lies down, pulling the blanket over her. The soft bed envelops her, as though the entire room embraces her gently. The pillow cradles her head. She sinks into that sensation of warmth and comfort. In the corner of her vision, the bedside lamp flickers slightly, its glow dancing over the walls like gentle candlelight. The hush of rain and the memory of lantern glow swirl together in her mind, forming a peaceful lullaby. Elise closes her eyes, letting her breathing slow and deepen. She can still smell a hint of roasted nuts on her fingertips, a sweet reminder of the night's small pleasures. Her thoughts drift to the old oak tree with its ribbons and wishes, to the quiet footbridge where the moonlight shimmered across the water, to the cozy hum of conversation and the subtle swirl of music. These images blend and fade, carrying her toward a deeper realm of rest. The gentle pace of her breath guides her to a place where time no longer matters, where the hush of the festival's end leaves only the warm essence of belonging. As the night moves on, she drifts in and out of dreamlike states. In her half-sleep, she envisions glowing lanterns bobbing in a tranquil river, each lantern carrying a wish or a hope into the vast ocean of possibilities. The lull of distant music seems to drift above, weaving an ever so gentle tapestry of melodies that cradle her mind, urging it to surrender to peaceful slumber. Little by little, her limbs grow heavier, and she settles into the soft, reassuring weight of the blankets. Sleep beckons her gently like a kindly whisper in the dark, reminding her that this is precisely the place and time to release all worries. Outside, the rain continues its gentle dance, an all-night serenade for the town. The lanterns, still flickering, offer a steadfast glow that illuminates the raindrops, transforming them into tiny gemstones falling from the sky. And so the festival sleeps, cradled in autumn's quiet generosity. The world beyond her window fades into a shadowy hush, the perfect backdrop for rest. In her final moments of wakefulness, Elise feels the delicate peace of this night envelop her completely. It's a feeling that carries no hurry, no demands, only the patient invitation to slumber. Now let the evening's gentle hush settle around you too. Picture the scene dissolving into the comfort of your own safe space. Envision the lanterns and faint music drifting off into the distance, becoming a soft, reassuring glow at the edge of your awareness. Let your breathing become even quieter, each inhale and exhale slower, deeper. You have journeyed through a festival night of slow wonder, gathering all the restful warmth it offered. Now is your time to embrace sleep, to let your mind and body rest entirely. Feel the weight of the day release from your limbs. Allow the softness within your chest to expand, soothing your heart and calming your thoughts. Imagine any lingering tension melting away, flowing from your neck and shoulders, down your arms, out the tips of your fingers. Let it travel further, leaving your torso, drifting down through your legs and out the soles of your feet. There is only calm here, only the mellow hush of a drowsy autumn night, guiding you into a deeper, quieter realm. If any scattered worries or stray thoughts appear, let them float by like small clouds in the sky, gently passing. You don't need to cling to them. Simply watch them drift away, leaving the sky of your mind clear and tranquil. Return your focus to your breath, soft, comforting, and steady. With each exhale, your body becomes heavier, sinking deeper into the surface beneath you. The gentle glow of lanterns and the lullaby of distant music have done their part. Now rest becomes inevitable, enveloping you in its tender embrace. Feel free to sink into that quiet darkness behind your eyelids, the place where dreams begin to form like faint sparks of warmth. Let yourself drift on the gentle tide of slumber, carried by the memory of a peaceful festival evening. Trust that you have arrived exactly where you need to be, safe, cozy, and ready for a profound rest. Good night, dear traveler. May the soft hum of distant music and the glow of festival lanterns guide you into sweet, replenishing dreams. Let your mind drift freely, unhurried, into a realm of serene slumber. You are safe. You are warm. Sleep well.